Each day of the festival,
Well,
8:30 ITV4. What's happening on the exchanges, Ollie?
Well, actually, it's interesting. We were talking about Tullyhill's jumping. Punters on the exchanges. Don't think that will be a factor. He's very strong at the top of the market. Slade Steel, that man's horse, Henry de Bromhead, is also well supported. And perhaps this is a sign of the times. Jericho de Repene, very weak. 2.4 million traded on Betfair ahead of the Supreme.
Look at the crowds of the horses walk down the walkway on the way to the start for the Supreme. There you have Mystical Power, number 8 out of the Wonder Mare, Annie Paul by Galileo. He is second favourite, but it's his stable companion Tullyhill who tops the market at 11-4. 3-1 Mystical Power, 4-1 Slade Steel, and it's 7-1 Firefox.
And there is Mystical Power in the hood that Ruby and AP were talking about, with the star on his cap. The second colours, if you like, for JP McManus, who's also got Jericho de Repene. Mick, can you back this horse with confidence after what's happened with Nicky's horses over the last few weeks?
Of course, there's a doubt, but you know. Look, it's like living in a house with a family and one or two of them get a cold and the others don't. We're hoping that he's the one that hasn't got the cold.
We're about to find out. To Alice.
Camilla Sharp is travelling head last for Gordon Elliott joins me. Firefox popped out. Megan picked him out of the paddock.
Yeah, he looks incredible. Katrina that leads him up, she looks after him every day and she's done a great job on him. So
he was obviously wrong after his last run.
He was. Gordon made that very, you know, he said it out there that he wasn't right after it, but he seems in great form at home. He's working well, so fingers crossed for a great run.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Slade Steel is our selection. That's what I said to you about the weight.
I'll tell you what a fantastic looking horse Slade Steel is, but here's the key horse for me. JP's in the second colours there. That is Mystical Power. How often, and it happens quite a lot, do you see full start? Here comes a favourite just coming over to us now. This is Tullyhill. Lovely grey horse. Here's Mystical Power, who we know can be a bit of a hothead, but he looks pretty quiet. Well behaved to me. Here just coming through. This is Firefox Megan's. Good luck, Jack. Smashing looking horse he is. He's just taking that red hood off. I'm just saying, it's so interesting. We so often have a full start for this Supreme, and that is massively going to be negative for Mystical Power.
Talk about that in a second, Lou. Let's check the market. We're still 2 minutes till the off. Tullyhill solid at 11-4. Mystical Power at 3-1. Slade Steel AP at 4s.
Yeah, second to Ballyburn over 2.5 mile last time. The leopard sign Eddie's obviously dropping back and trip to avoid Ballyburn. He's definitely got a chance. The softer ground will definitely give him that better chance.
Ben Pauling's got Tell Her the Name, Megan, and Ben Pauling's novices have been flying.
Yeah, what a season they're having, and I think this horse is a real chaser for the future. The rain definitely has put a bit of a dampener on his chances, and although Ben's got a great bunch of horses coming forward, I think this horse might just be about outclassed at the moment here.
First of the double green army, and they are strong this week, is Mr. Gift for Daryl Jacob. This might well be his last Cheltenham Festival. What chance of a winner here?
Look, this is a horse that he comes into, we don't know how good he is category, because the only time we've seen him was where he absolutely bolted up. He outclassed the opposition, so he's one of those that could be a bit of a sleeper. He should handle conditions, and I think that could be all important. I walked the track out there. It's as soft as I've known it here at Cheltenham on the opening day.
Wow. It is pretty deep here, and obviously the cross-country is in doubt. No great surprise that Jericho de Repene is weak on the exchanges with the state of play. We're going to learn a lot here. Right, before we talk about the start, AP, how important are the early stages of the race, particularly for Mystical Power?
Well, just firstly, Jericho de Repene did look the part in the parade ring, so that definitely wouldn't put you off him. I think what is important is what Ruby said about the reason for the hoods is that Willie wants him to race lazily on this testing ground. So horses in running are going to have to relax to have a better chance of getting the trip or keep going, as you like.
You mentioned that Tullyhill was sort of plodding around the place and relaxed down to the start in comparison to Mystical Power, who was getting a bit revvy, started grinding his teeth and getting a bit hot. So total different horses there.
Slade Steele's challenging for favouritism here, Mick.
Yeah, look, he's a horse who could have gone the other way and gone the longer trip. Maybe because of ground conditions. A lot of people feeling you need a proper stayer, and he certainly looks that.
Remember these late moves at Cheltenham, so important. On the exchanges right now, 4.4 Tullyhill, 4.8 Slade Steel. They look eager to get on with it. The festival about to start in the company of Richard Hoyles.
And the company of the crowd as well, who will give them the traditional send-off. All poised, getting their spots for the first. Start at the foot of the hill. long run between flights 1 and 2, but a short run to the first. Just waiting for... Here we go, flag is up. That'll be the lull, and hopefully we'll get a first timer, but maybe not. Just edgy, and I don't think we're going to. Yeah, full start to get us underway. No one's gone too far. Kings Hill and also Asian Master coming in a little bit too fast. It is a very short run to the first. Battle lines are drawn for the week. The traditional roar and what's becoming the traditional roar number 2 in a moment or two.
And the marker put down like a referee early in a football match. Bit predictable, that Mick.
Yeah, look, the minute they start cantering, the starter is thinking this is the first of 4 big days. I want them to know. I'm not going to let them go with their cantering. I want them no faster than a trot. Be interesting to see what happens now, though. Do they actually make them stand, or does he say, right, we'll have one more go?
Super Sunday's away to the right there. Baptism of fire for him here today. Here we go.
So this time it's a go for the Sky Bet Supreme, and Tully Hill is one of the first to show in company with the other great Kings Hill on this short run towards flight number 1, at which there was a mistake back in the field by Favour and Fortune, and now this long climb towards the second. So it's Tully Hill out in front for Paul Townend. In second place, the pink jacket of Tell Her the Name, who's on the inside of the half colours of Slade Steel, who just got a bit warm in the final few moments down at the start. Jericho de Repenay, hooped colours of green and gold with the white cap, is alongside the outside of Kings Hill. Asian Master towards the outside, Firefox in midfield. Find that red cap, green and white colours just ahead of Mr. Giff. Then Mystical Power has a couple behind. They were Favour and Fortune, who made that first flight error. And Super Sunday is last of all, as they've just about completed this run towards flight number 2. It is Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name who rise together, both measuring well, no obvious errors, as in third place Slade Steel as they receive the cheer from the crowd, moving out on their final circuit. Kings Hill on the inside of Slade Steel, with Jericho de Repenay going right up the inside. The outside for Asian Master, packed grandstands viewing the field as they turn away. Firefox comes next, who's on the outside at this stage of Mr. Giff. Then Mystical Power, Favour and Fortune, and the back marker is Super Sunday. So that long climb just about behind them now. They'll turn downhill, race down the side of the racecourse where flights 3 and 4 await. It is Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name from Slade Steel early on. Jericho de Repenay on the inside of Kings Hill and Asian Master. Firefox in 7th place, just ahead of Mystical Power, Favour and Fortune, Mr. Giff, and Super Sunday. So this is flight number 3. Tully Hill measures it well. Mistake was from Jericho de Repenay on the inside. Just knocked him back about a length or so as they continue their progress towards the next flight of hurdles. Still a bit of a run until they get there, and Tell Her the Name has moved to the lead from Tully Hill. Slade Steel, Asian Master is out wide with Kings Hill, Jericho de Repenay. Firefox comes next from Mystical Power, Favour and Fortune, Mr. Giff, and right at the back of the field is Super Sunday. Flight number 4. And again, they're all over, and Tully Hill's jumping so far has been straight, true and accurate as they now climb uphill once again. Tully Hill on the inside of Tell Her the Name. Slade Steel in third, Asian Master, very little change in the order to this point with Kings Hill. Then Jericho de Repenay just given a squeeze up there in 6th place. Behind that one is Firefox, red cap with Mystical Power improving on the outside, and Mr. Giff on the inside. Then Favour and Fortune, and last of all is still Super Sunday. So climbing uphill and then swinging down towards the final 3 flights of hurdles in the Sky Bet Supreme. Tell Her the Name on the outside of Tully Hill with Slade Steel in third. Jericho de Repenay has regained that position on the rails with Kings Hill and Asian Master. Behind these we have slightly pushed along Mystical Power, just looking for a little gap at this stage as they just jockey for position slightly. And then Firefox, who likewise is just looking for a little bit of racing room. Favour and Fortune comes next, and there's still plenty of chances here as we race down towards the third last. Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name. Firefox jumped up well on the outside of Jericho de Repenay. Slade Steel is well there. Kings Hill, the outsider, still there with Asian Master. Mr. Giff trying to improve as they head down towards the second last in what at this stage is a wide open Supreme. It is Tully Hill from Tell Her the Name. Firefox jumps through into third place. Then towards the outside is Slade Steel. Jericho de Repenay comes next as they jockey for position up the final bend. It is Tully Hill from Tell Her the Name, Slade Steel, then ridden along is Firefox on the outside of Mr. Gibb. Mystical Power trying to get involved. It's Tully Hill and a barging match in behind. Tully Hill from Slade Steel, who's now the challenger. Mystical Power, Mr. Gibb behind these in 5th place, and seemingly beaten is Firefox. It's Slade Steel who led Mystical Power over the last, but it's Mystical Power who is the best away. Mystical Power on the near side for Mark Walsh. The far side Slade Steel for Rachel Blackmore, and Slade Steel, it is who find most. Slade Steel wins the Supreme. Rachel Blackmore, Henry de Blomhead and Rob Coeur turned away Mystical Power. Slightly unlucky Firefox not to finish closer in 3rd. A big run Asian Master who's finished 4th. Favour and Fortune, Mr. Giff, all the way back to the likes of Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name. A punch of the air for Rachel Blackmore as Slade Steel repelled the challenge of Mystical Power, who led briefly at the last. Not the best of runs through for Firefox, but possibly only would have finished closer in 3rd. Big run Asian Master in 4th, then Mr. Giff, Favour and Fortune, and the 2 that cut out the running, including Tully Hill and Tell Her the Name, faded away. So Ireland on the board first, but not with one of the Mullins 5. It was the de Bromhead 1. Rachel Blackmore wins the Supreme.
How good is Ballyburn, who runs tomorrow, beats Slade Steel
That's our first
at Leopardstown. They decided to come here. What a decision from Henry de Bromhead, who wins at the Cheltenham Festival for a 22nd time. And it's Rachel time again, Alice. Win number 15.
Now, if you followed this, I
it's
gave this
Rachel
last
time
night.
again.
Rachel,
it looked tough out there, but you were always travelling.
Yeah, I was always travelling. I didn't really want to be in front jump for the last, but he kind of took me there, and he battled back so well after the last.
He really did. Back here in the Theatre of Dreams and getting that one on the board early. It must be unbelievable.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I obviously just love this place, and it's just amazing to be coming here riding these kind of horses.